Hi, I'm Rebecca from Rebecca Stitches and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I sew and knit my own wardrobe, but today I'm going to talk about my knitting Make 9. I've got my journal here where I've written down my knitting aims for 2024. So last year I sewed a little bit and I started knitting more. And I want 2024 to be the year that I concentrate on knitting, probably more than the sewing, I think. Although I do have plans for like a sewing going forward for this year as well. And with both my knitting and my sewing, I do want to try and use what I've got, like pattern wise and in my stash. Not that I'm saying I won't buy patterns or more yarn, because I probably will. But I really want to try in the next couple of years to whittle down the size of my stash that I've got. So yeah, my knitting Make 9. The first thing that I've got on my knitting Make 9 is one of my children. One of the three. They've all been up for a wee now. It is bedtime. The weather is really bad here and the lighting, so doing it at night time where they've gone to bed. So yeah, the first thing on my knitting Make 9 is I want to do some colour work. I haven't really done any sort of colour work. I tried to do a little bit of colour work in a hat that I made my daughter at the beginning of 2023, and that the tension was all wrong. That did not work out well and the hat did not fit her. So yeah, I'm going to do a sweater pullover, and I think I'm either going to do the Crayabaya Kerr sweater, but I also recently bought Caitlin Hunter's Autumn Alpine sweater, and I think that is my favourite one of the two, and I've got yarn for it that I would like to use. So it's a top down knit sweater in the round, and it's got like Scandinavian inspired floral colour work, like colour work yoke. It's in Sporties and it's for a 5 to 20 centimetre ease. So yeah, I think I'll probably do more, maybe like 10 centimetres of ease, hopefully. I haven't printed it out yet. I have bought it on Ravelry. She had a sale in December, I think. It was her birthday. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is going to be my colour work sweater of choice. Caitlin Hunter's Autumn Alpine round yoked sweater. I'll have put a picture in it here so you can see. And I've seen some on like Instagram that are a green colour with like a oatmeal-y colour work. And I think that's the kind of colour vibe that I'm going to go for, because I have got some green in my stash and some oatmeal-y colour. So yeah, I'm really excited about trying that colour work, but also really worried about my tension. So if anyone's got any tips on how to make sure I don't make it too tight, I would love to know in the comments. That'd be great. My second Make 9 aim is to use at least one of my Beehive yarns advents. So I've got two Beehive yarn advents, one from 2022, one from 2021, and I do have it here. I love Beehive yarns. She's from Yorkshire in England, and it came in this really beautiful box. And I have opened them all, obviously, when I went through, but they are still all in their packaging of what they came in. And she sends like postcards of what her like inspiration was, and that was her sort of colour board inspiration for 2022. And yeah, it's really nice. I got the DK weight one. The colours are really lovely, and she also gives you like tells you what the name of the colours were depending on what day it was, which is another reason I kept them like in their packages. And I think I'm going to make the Sweetshop blanket by Laura Penrose. I recently made one out of my I didn't get a Beehive yarns advent this year because I have two that I've not knit up. So I did the Crayobea's Scrappy Knit Vent swap, and my lovely partner sent me these yarns that I knit up into a Sweetshop blanket. So this is quite small, it's 5x5 squares. So I used every yarn that she gave me apart from one, which I'm knitting up into something else because she gave me like a Queen fibre silk mohair remnant, which was like 20 grams, which was really nice of her. So I'm knitting that into a hat. And then some of them I've used twice because I had more than you needed for the square. So it's a DK blanket, garter stitch, and you make these little squares and then you join them on as you go. There's four different types of squares depending on where you're joining, and I really enjoyed knitting this through December, and I think this will be like a really good thing to use the DK weight yarn advent that I got from Beehive yarns and use them all up, so it's going to be a really sort of big one that we can all use. So yeah, I think it's because it's DK weight and it's superwash yarn. Another one of the children not in bed. Yeah, because it's DK weight, superwash yarn, I think the colour that I'm going to get to hold with it is going to be like an off-white, and I'm going to get some drops superwash merino and DK. I haven't bought it yet, but that is my plan, because obviously the yarn advent itself costs a lot of money and I don't want to buy all that. I think you need like 400-500 grams of the main colour. So yeah, I think I'm going to buy a superwash, because then they're all superwash yarns, they all go together in drops. Merino superwash DK weight that they do, can't remember what it's called exactly, but yeah, so I think that will get started soonish in the next couple of months, I think, and then I can just add to that as and when I fancy a quick piece of knitting, really. So yeah, the Sweetshop blanket, it's really nice, really soft and squishy, obviously because it's garter stitch, and it's really easy to knit a square in a day. So yeah, looking forward to that. So the next thing on my Make 9 list is Ozetta's The Moonset Tee. I'll put a picture in here. It has around 10 centimetres of positive ease built into the pattern. Goes up to from an XS to a 5XL. And it's got German short rows, V-neck, German short rows. It is a finger and weight pattern, so that is probably going to take a little while to knit up. But yeah, I really like the idea of doing a t-shirt pattern, and I really liked the Moonset Tee. So I bought some Kinross 4-ply from Wee County Yarns, which I bought off their website, in Scots Pine. It's a really nice green, which you can see on the screen, a really nice green colour. So yeah, I've got some of this, and I definitely want to knit this up. I think this might be a more sort of summertime project. I have not knit up one of Ozetta's patterns before, but I do like the look of quite a lot of them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Moonset Tee, but I think I'll save it more for sort of spring, summer, because that's spring, summer, autumn is when I'll probably get most of the wear out of it. Oh, and I haven't talked about what I'm wearing today. It's recently got cold again here in the UK and breaking out the knit. So I've got my Petiteknit Stockholm sweater on that I made using woolly knit British wool 4-ply blue John Nep held with Midnatssol? Midnatssol? I can't say it. The alpaca lace, because I'm not really a fan of, well, I like mohair, but then I find it a bit itchy. So yeah, that's what I've got on today. I finished this a couple of months ago. It was in one of my recent blogs. So that is that. And then the next thing I've got on my list is one that most people know. It's the Ranunculus. I haven't knit it before, but I have a lot of yarn So the Ranunculus I'll put a picture in. I'm pretty sure I'm probably one of the only people that hasn't knit one. It's a top down in the round yoke with lace and textured stitches, which are made to look like you're wearing lots of necklaces. It has short rows in the back and on the front neckline, and on the front neckline it's used to sort of shape the neck and bring the lace and the textured stitches further down, like as if it was a necklace. But I've seen a lot of people that have made it and read reviews, and I think I'll only do the short rows on the back and not do the ones on the front neck, because people say it brings it up too high, so I don't want that to happen. I'm not sure whether I'll do the long length sleeves or the short sleeves, and I think it'll depend on what time of year I get round to knitting it. And then I'll decide, yeah, depending on what yarn I use and what time of year it is, whether I do long, short, bracelet length sleeves. I like the fact you can use anything from lace worsted weight, so then I've got a lot of yarn, if I like it, in my stash that I could use to make this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then the next thing is out of one of my many knitting books, PomPom's Ready Steady Raglan. It's really sad about PomPom not like going out of business. I'm quite sad. I've subscribed to their magazine, so yeah. But what I am going to make is their hirose pattern out of this book. It's like the first pattern in the book. It's a simple and sophisticated smooth sailing pullover, straightforward stockinette stitch with standard increases at the faux seams. Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen in the Ready Steady Raglan, but they have, for each sweater they have in it, they have different versions of it that they've done. For instance, these are all the same sweater, but I want to do this version of it. So it's knit in buccal yarn, and let me see if I can get a better picture of it. There's a little picture there. So yeah, I really fancy the look of it in the buccal yarn. The yarn that I'm going to try it in, because obviously it's quite expensive, that type of yarn. So I like it's got a split hem, and I like the depth that they've done of the ribbon, and it's got like a roll neck. Yeah, I'm going to use some the drops buccal yarn that you can get, because I think it's a good price point, and if I don't like the yarn once it's knit up, or this version, I won't have spent a lot of money on it. So this is for a DK weight yarn. So yeah, so this version's got a folded neck with a straight neck shaping, a split hem with the back hem measuring longer. So yeah, so in this book it's really good. Like I said, for each pattern they have different versions of it, and then in the back they talk about exploring colour, or like changing you could do to like the ribbon, the hem and the cuff, sleeve and torso length, all like kinds of different variations. It's a really nice book, so I'm glad I've got that, and I'm looking forward to making my first sweater out of it. And then what number is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My 6th aim for my Knitting Make 9 this year is, I got this book for Christmas, Embroidery on Knits. It's a liner publication, and it is just beautiful. Like, I saw it on their Instagram and all the different like embroidery and things. So it's a really beautiful book just to look through and read, and like really inspiring. Can you see that there? So yeah, my aim with this is obviously to do some embroidery on knits, and it also talks about like colour placement, all that kind of thing. But although like I think the easiest project in here would be they do some mittens, show you how to like embroider on mittens, for instance, just there, which I think is really nice, which I think for my full first project, I would probably do something like this, and I think they'd be really nice gift knits as well with embroidery on. But I also think like leftover yarn that you have, like making little embroidery hoops, displaying them with the different sort of stitches on and yeah, different designs that they've got in the book, I think would be really nice, and having like a little wall of those. So there's different kind of designs they've got in the book, which I just think are really beautiful, and it'd be quite a nice, I like embroidery, I enjoy that. If you saw one of my Christmas videos, I did excuse me, some embroidery with my sister, got back into it and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think that will be like a really nice thing to do. And yeah, so do like little swatches and then embroider on them, and then I can like display them like in the house and stuff. So yeah, so maybe not a full sweater, maybe the mittens, but I'm definitely gonna do some like swatches, and then yeah, I have it in an embroidery hoop on display. Yeah, it's a really beautiful book, that. Really recommend it. And then one of my other main knitting Make 9 for 2024 aims is to get rid of some of my whips that I've got. Excuse me. I've got quite a few whips, and even like just small whips, like I've got a pair of socks, some Aline Knits cable socks that I started last year, and I pretty much nearly finished apart from one sock, and then I've just left it and I'm like, oh, I'm not even interested. So yeah, and I've got a Sophie scarf that I need to finish, another pair of socks that either maybe I'll just rip back because they're like just done the cuff on them, and then I've got a Amy Sher building block drop that I really want, and it's in Wool Dreamers yarn, and they're unspun, and it knits up really quick. I just need to get on with it. I want to finish those whips, have less knitting bags dotted around the house full of different whips where I can't find my needles because they're in a bag in a whip that I'm not even concentrating on. And then those whips that I finish, like my Sophie scarf, if I don't think I want to use it, then I'm going to save it and gift it. So yeah, that is a definite aim. I would also like to have 2 or 3 whips on the go at a time and finish a whip before I start a new project, especially if they're big projects. And then my number 8 from my Make 9 is another design from PomPom magazine. This is spring 2023, and it is the cover, this one, the overlay. I love brioche stitch. I love knitting brioche stitch, but I don't think I want to knit a whole garment in it, and I do quite like vests. So yeah, I did buy some yarn for this, and I had started it, but I ripped it back out because it was quite messy. Then it's sort of like on, I don't know if you can see here, let me get a better picture. So yeah, like where the 2 colours, you stop using one colour and start using the other as you're going across. I hadn't wrapped them properly, and then I was getting like a gap in between. So I ripped it out, and then I was looking through and checking the sizing and what yarn I'd bought, and I don't think I bought enough yarn, and I don't want to get half pretty much all the way through it. You start bottom up on this one and then not be able to finish it because I haven't got enough yarn. So I think I do want to do it, and this is going to be a spring, summer, autumn make, but I think I'm going to choose some different yarn when I get around to doing it. So yeah, I was thinking maybe pink and green with a beigey colour, because I do like this colour combo, but I quite like pink and green together as well. That's like a really good combination. But yeah, it's a better picture of her wearing it. So yeah, because I love brioche stitch, I'd really like to make this. So yeah, I want to get this done this year as well. And then lastly, my last knitting make 9, which I think may be the first thing that sort of gets cast on. I've had this pattern for a while. Really want to make the Lanark sweater by the Crayabea. So this is a zip sweater, as you can see. It's got a little zip on it. Again, this is half fisherman's rib / half brioche, and it's knit on 3.5mm circular needles or whatever you need to get gauge, and it is also for DK weight yarn, I believe. Pretty sure, let me check. So it's an oversized drop shoulder sweater, knit in half fisherman's rib and finished with a sewn in zipper. It's worked top down, first flat and then in the round. So yeah, it's knit in DK weight yarn. 10 to 25 centimetres of positive ease. So yeah, I think that this will be the thing that I cast on first out of all these like make 9 aims and goals, things I like to do. And I think I'm going to use this British yarn woolly knit 4-ply, and it's in the colour charcoal grey, and I've got two cones of it because I knew I wanted to make a sweater with it. I was thinking the Kerr sweater, but I think I'm going to make the Lanark out of it. And I've seen quite a lot of people on Instagram do sort of a Lanark that ends at the waist and the ribbon's a bit tight on the waist area, and I think that's like the kind of style that I'm going to do. But obviously, as it's top down, I can try it on as I'm going. But yeah, I think that is my aim for that one, and I'm quite excited about that one. And what I'm knitting at the minute, I'm waiting for the right size needle to come through the post because I didn't have it. I don't know where all my 3mm needles have gone. So yeah, this I think I'm gonna swatch for this week and cast that on. So yeah, if anyone's got any tips, made any of these things, you got any tips that would be useful, that'd be really good. And definitely like colour work, any tips with keeping my tension not too tight in the colour work, so then when you block it, it just pulls and you can't see some of the stitches because they're too tight. I'm just really worried about knitting a whole sweater and then it's too tight and it looks awful. But I really want to try some colour work, and I really love the Caitlin Hunter Autumn Alpine knits. Right then, I'd like to know if anyone else is doing like a make 9. I've seen lots of people's goals and things. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again.